What's going on, guys? My name is Aldeniro and welcome to episode 15 of my Leicester City career mode. Thank you guys for all the support so far, as always. It's really cool how we're almost on the second season. Like, we're approaching the end of this season and it's only been like, what, 2 weeks? 1 week? A week and a half? I'm not too sure. But we start this episode off with a game against West Ham United, and they are the inspiration for my question early on for you guys, which is quite simply, who's your least favourite team to play against on FIFA 15 so far in career mode? Because even though it's a little bit early to be making judgments for me, like, I have played West Ham twice and they are so difficult to play against. Like, their league position is something like, I don't know, did it actually show it at the start of the video? They're not really doing too well in the league and everything, and I should be beating them, but they've got such a solid team in every area of it. Like, the likes of Zarate and Andy Carroll up front with Koyate in midfield, and they've got Winston Reid in defence who's really good. Like, they play really well, plus Ener Valencia, who just missed a ridiculous chance just after the half-hour mark. But yeah, they're so difficult to play against. But we had a chance in the 36th minute through Dwight Gale, who you might notice, like, he gets a lot of chances on goal, and I think that's really good because since David Nugent got injured, although he is back from injury now, there haven't really been many chances for us. Like, our strikers don't really do so well. But where am I? West Ham did actually put the ball in the net in the 45th minute, and I was cursing and screaming. I get caught out by that every time. It was actually offside, and I think I actually thought that Powell shot was in when I was doing it. But I play without sound a lot of the time because the commentators just still say the same old things that they were saying in FIFA 14, except now they add in stuff about the World Cup and how players got on at the World Cup, which is going to be really annoying when you're in the year 2020 and they're still talking about the 2014 World Cup as if it's the only World Cup that ever happened. But we put some pressure on in the 85th minute, and that led to a West Ham counter-attack from which Kevin Nolan plays the ball into Carlton Cole, who just completely got past Morgan so easily. I don't know why I stepped forward so quickly with Morgan, but thankfully it was only Carlton Cole and he couldn't hit a fucking barn door, so the game ends in a 0-0 draw, which is a little bit disappointing. And we come out of that game to find that Luca Ante, our defender, tells us that he wants to leave in the next transfer window, and I kind of do see where he's coming from, but the reason I signed him was because of his potential, or well, what I figured his potential was. I don't actually know what his potential is. I've never looked him up at all as we go into our next game, which is against West Brom. But the reason I've stuck with Morgan and Moore for the most part in my defence is because I honestly think that this is the last season I'll ever get anything out of Wes Morgan, and I really, really like him. I think he's a class player. I love watching him in real life, and I think he's great in this game because he's got strength and good tackling ability, but he wasn't fit to play against West Brom in this game, so Luca Ante did come in for his position at centre back, and we got a chance in the 15th minute with Gary Mackay-Steven having a shot from distance that was parried away by the keeper and then cleared by the West Brom defence. But we came forward again 10 minutes later with the ball coming through to Dave Nugent, who gets in ahead of Joleon Lescott and manages to get into a good position to cross, and Dwight Gale comes in but headers it over the bar despite the goal being open and just dying for someone to shoot in. He did get it at a very awkward angle though, and I suppose it would have been difficult to keep that down, but I really, really wish we could have taken the lead there. Like, finding goals has been such a struggle lately, and it's just really ridiculous that we haven't managed to do it, I guess, like as regularly as I'd like. But past the half-hour mark, West Brom were gaining momentum with their attack and play, and that shot went over. It probably should have at least been on target, but they came forward again just 4 minutes later with Chris Brunt playing the ball into Sessegnon, who amazingly hits the post. So much power behind that shot. There was no way Schmeichel was getting to it as well, because keepers are very vulnerable at the near post in this game. But just before half-time, we got a chance from a corner kick, but like, look at that for terrible control from that player, by the way. But it comes to Esteban Cambiasso, and his shot hits off the crossbar and goes over, which was a shame. And then before half time again, we got another chance with Nugent feeding the ball into Dwight Gale. I tried playing with the two strikers just because I thought they could maybe complement each other nicely, but look at that woeful, disastrous left-footed shot from Dave Nugent that goes wide. Then we come into the second half, and this was around the 70th minute with James Morrison crossing the ball into Graham Dorrans for what would have been a goal made in Scotland, but the midfielder put his header way over the bar. It was just a good chance. But then in the 80th minute, they came forward again. Like, the last 10 minutes of the game, it was all West Brom. They were just trying to capitalise on all the possession that they had, and they kept the pressure going for an awful long time, and there was nothing I could do about it. But The reason that I was happy enough to contain this pressure and attempt to maybe snatch something on the counter-attack was because so many of my games this season have ended in 3-0 defeats, where I score a goal, or sorry, I concede a goal like early on, and that's how things work out. And then as I'm trying to fight back into the game, I'll concede a goal around the 50th minute and then another one in the 75th. And like, so many of our games have panned out that exact way, with that exact formula, in a 3-0 defeat. So I tried to just contain West Brom and just get something on the break and hope for a 1-0 victory, or even I wasn't exactly playing for a draw, but if we got a draw, I'd be happy enough with it, because it's a hard game to play, you know. But in the 89th minute here, Dwight Gale plays the ball into an advancing Schlupp, whose volley goes just wide. It's such a shame it didn't fall to a player who had some capability to actually strike a ball, although he did score yesterday. But in the 95th minute, West Brom came forward with Anichebe on the ball. He gets around every defender in the box, and the ball comes to Stephen Fletcher, who belts it wide with his weak foot, and I'll take that. It ends in a 0-0 draw, so our second consecutive 0-0 draw. But the positives are 2 games unbeaten and 2 clean sheets in a row. Despite that, I really do wish our strikers were in any way like capable of scoring goals. But after that, we have a look at our scout report here. This is our scout who went to Ireland and is finding all of these players. Now, there are a few good potentials in there. You'll notice a lot of the 85, 84 potential players are goalkeepers, and they're all like 5'7", so I didn't sign them because I'm an idiot and I didn't think in my head that at that age you're not actually finished growing and that they would grow more. So I didn't sign any of them, but I signed a few players from the youth team. I think I'll show it on the screen. I'm not sure which ones they are, but I figured a lot of our youth players, or a lot of our reserve players, sorry, are going to be leaving at the end of the season because their contracts are up. So we might as well replace them with some other nobodies who will probably never play for us. But you never know, they might turn out to be amazing, and that would be pretty cool, because I've never ever used the youth scouting system on FIFA. I never used it last year at all, so it's a new journey for me too. But our next game is away from home at Turf Moor against Burnley, who actually played against Leicester yesterday and got an impressive 2-2 draw with a nice Ross Wallace free kick in the 90th minute or so. But Burnley came on the attack here in the 5th minute, and the ball came to Ben Mee, of all people, who did manage to get his shot off, but it was just wide of the post. And then they came forward again 5 minutes later with Ross Wallace playing the ball back to Ben Mee, who plays it into Kitely, who gets into an advanced position and crosses to Danny Ings, whose header finds the back of the net with no movement from Kasper Schmeichel to attempt to save the shot. And that's Burnley going 1-0 up in this game. And Burnley are rock bottom in the Premier League in this game. I think they've amassed a cumulative total of 13 points or something like that over the course of the season, so they're in no fit state to be beating us despite how bad we are. And Dwight Gale's header in the 20th minute, despite being straight at the goalkeeper, did force a save and a corner kick. But we came forward again 15 minutes later with Nick Powell playing it into Dwight Gale, who goes for another header, which actually went out for a corner kick as far as I know. It did hit off the that's Shackle, I think is that defender's name, but Esteban Cambiasso stood over the corner kick and he would swing it in, hoping to crowd the keeper inside the box there, because I find that goalkeepers are pretty overpowered with corners. We did get a header on it. It was from Mackay Stephen, but it went out for another corner as Tom Heaton is 29 years old now. That's mental. When did that happen? But Albrighton comes across to the other side to take the corner. I really need to switch those sides so that the left-footed is taking the right-hand sided corner, you know what I mean. But Boyate gets a volley off that went just wide of the post, and the keeper didn't move for it at all, probably because it was such an atrocious shot, but I thought it was highlight worthy nonetheless. Then in the 42nd minute, Mackay Stephen plays the ball into Dwight Gale, who gets round his defender really well, and I thought that would be the moment that he'd score, but Tom Heaton was there to make the save and put it out for a corner kick. And then 2 minutes later, it was Burnley's chance to respond to the pressure that we'd been putting under them, as Dave Jones plays the ball wide to Ben Mee, who found himself in attacking position several times in this game, but it was Mee who played it into Jones. He plays it to Juktovic, or however you pronounce his name, and his shot crashes off the crossbar before the defence does manage to clear it. But the Burnley pressure was kind of annoying because we were a goal down and I just really needed to get a goal back in this game. So when the moment came, thankfully a hero did step up as Danny Drinkwater plays the ball to Esteban Cambiasso, who from 25 yards out, it puts us back into the game with an amazing goal. It was actually like one of those goals that shouldn't have really gone in at all. Like, there's something bugged in the game that makes the goalkeepers not move for those chances at all. Although on the replay you will see the goalkeeper diving for it, along with all of the hands and heads of the players, or the fans. And look how stupid that is. I don't know, like, when they designed Turf Moor, did they consider that happening or what? Because that's not what you want when you're a next gen fucking game trying to show off your graphics and the fans look like they've got cardboard hands. But yeah, I guess that was actually not one of those glitch shots. I thought that was just a decent shot. But Burnley came forward just past the hour mark attack with Juktovic on the ball. He managed to get into a decent enough position before passing to Dean Marney, who plays it into Ross Wallace, who finds Dean Marney, who plays it back to some amazing play there as the shot went wide. And then in the final 10 minutes of the game, we did bring on Jack Grealish, who played some sort of a decent part in the game, I guess. As the ball comes to Scott Sinclair, he looks up, he has options around him. It comes to Danny Drinkwater, who finds Jack Grealish on the edge of the area, but his shot went looping over the far post and nothing came of it. So we ended that game with a 1-1 draw, which is our third draw in a row, but at least we're not losing these games. And even though I should be beating Burnley, blah blah blah, whatever, I honestly reckon that even if I was top of my game, that they would have still given me a decent performance, because I'll always struggle against teams who are bottom of the league. And judging from the comment section, the people who sympathise with me and things like that, you guys tend to do that as well. Like, I find I play really well against big teams, not always, like Chelsea will hammer me or whatever, but then I'll do a double over Liverpool and get a point at Old Trafford, so you never know what's going to happen in this game. But yeah, that's the end of this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like. That would be much appreciated. I've been El Dinero. Thanks for watching.